7 pro tips for naming your business. What are they? Let's find out. Hey, what's up guys? KRIS here, and today's video is 7 pro tips for naming your business. Why is this important? Because a lot of people jump right into their business and try to name something without planning, and that's the worst thing that you can do. On this video, we're going to talk about the 7 pro tips how to name your business, or 7 pro tips in naming your business or your company. You want to know what they are? We're going to save the best for last. So before we get into this, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, the like button, notification bells. That shows these videos in your feed to get you the best information and the best tips on entrepreneur success. So jumping right in, what is number 1? Number 1 is learn. You want to learn your industry, you want to learn your customers, you want to learn who is your competition. Learning about all of that will put you in the good running up to be a great competitor. And that's what you want to be, because you're going to be taking market share from some of your competitors, and you want to make sure that you can compete. Coming into an industry and that you don't know the trends, or you don't know the lingo or the key products, things like that, the competitors will know that, and so will your customers. So you don't want to do that. Research this stuff, learn about it, trends, lingo, like I said, growth, the key products. You got to know what product you're going to be putting in the marketplace, right? I don't think you'd want to start a business without a good product. Now, what's number 2? Number 2 is create. What are you creating? You got to create your business name. That's what this video is about. There's a couple things that'll help in creating a business name. I'm going to put these on the screen here because they're a little bit in depth. So what are they? Literary devices. So here are the literary devices. One is going to be alliteration. What is alliteration? Repetition of identical initial consonant. Here's a couple of examples. Best Buy, Coca-Cola. You get it? The first consonant is the repetition. Then you have assonance or assonance, however you want to pronounce that. I'm not that great at pronouncing, but ironic because here we're talking about pronouncing. Assonance. It is repetition in vowel, so something like PayPal or CarMax. You also have consonants, similar to alliteration, but at the end. State Street, AT&T. Those are some examples there. And then, of course, you have imagery. Imagery is huge because not only are you appeasing to multiple senses, vision and sound, imagery, which is part of vision, as we all know, is great, and as an icon works best. Some examples there are Apple and Target. Then you have personification, which is attaching human traits to inanimate objects. Something like Spirit Airlines is a perfect example for that. And you have portmanteau. Not the best at pronouncing that, but it works. And that's 2 words that are put together. We've all known some of those. And what are they? Pinterest. You have pins and interest. Pinterest. And of course, Netflix. Internet and flicks. Netflix. And of course, the most common, which is not really a business name, but used as an example here, is brunch, breakfast, lunch. Perfect example of that. And then last but not least, you have rhyme and rhythm. Johnson & Johnson, Prudential Financial. Something that kind of rhymes, something that has some rhythm to it. Back to the video. Cool, so we just got done with the create portion. You probably had no idea that that was that involved and there's that many possibilities with these literary devices, but there are. Exercising those will help you plan accordingly. What do you do after you're done planning? You want to check. What are you going to check? You're going to check a few things. Secretary of State. Want to make sure that the name's not already taken or something similar doesn't exist in the marketplace. Competitors. You don't want to infringe on a competitor. You don't want to infringe on their trademark, any copyrights, things like that. So you got to check. Of course, you want to check your URL. The URL is going to be a staple of your business. You want it simple, you want it short, you want it sweet and to the point. Normally the .com is what you would want to go after. However, if the .com is taken and you have multiple words, you can always use hyphens. That's second best. Of course, with all these other suffixes now, there's a lot of other things online. You got your .nets, .orgs for organization. A net is normally for like a network, so want to stay away from those, but if you're going to use it, okay, then use it. However, there's so many other ones online, .guru, .coach, it goes on and on. However, the .com is always the best. And of course, for keyword relevance and searchability, that is going to be the best, and it will get you ranking a lot faster. Yes, this is a proven fact. So moving forward from there, what else do you got to look at? Foreign interpretation. You want to check that as well. A lot of people won't check that. However, there's examples out there like Coca-Cola. When it was over in China and in Mandarin, it converted over to something that wasn't that pleasant. So you want to make sure that whatever your word is or your brand is, if you're national, probably not a big deal. If you're international, definitely a big deal. You want to check that, and you want to make sure that whatever it translates into, you're not offending somebody. And of course, it's not a curse word or anything like that. That would be horrible, and it would actually hurt your brand instead of make your brand better. Company brand, you get the point. Now, this all falls into consideration. So what else are you considering? You're considering the future. Number 4, consider the future. What are your brand elements? What are your colors? What is the perception that people are going to be perceiving your brand as? And of course, I say brand here, but this also falls in line with your business name. It all falls into the same category. How are other people perceiving what you're putting out into the open? You may have a certain perception of something, but you want to make sure that the perception from your customers, from other people, from people that may have nothing to do with your industry, you want to take that feedback in, because that all matters. If you don't do it right, you're going to run into problems down the road. It's better to run into problems now than in the future, which leads us to number 5. Number 5 is get feedback. Simple as that. How do you do that? Well, you can ask your friends, you can ask your mom and dad. However, you have some bias there. Parents and friends are always going to say, oh, that's great, it sounds wonderful, it sounds nice, when really they may have no idea what they're talking about. And they just want to appease you. So you got to make sure that you take that into consideration. So what else do you do? Well, you want to explain your business to certain people, whether you know them or not. Don't mention any names, just explain what you do, explain your business, and you can simply ask, if you Googled this in one word, what would it be? What would you Google? If I told you about my business, how would you find my business? That's the best feedback you can get. Even more so, you can go to Google itself and type in a couple of things and find out what Google recommends. What are the recommended search terms down below? Things like that. Now, where this plays part in Google, now that we're talking about it, is number 6, which is surveys, polls, focus groups, and of course, searching online. When you search online, you want to find out a couple of things, and you want to be sure of this. And what is this? You want to make sure that whatever search results come up, you're standing out. If you go into a marketplace and that keyword or that term or that phrase that you're using to describe your business or your business name comes up with a whole bunch of other searches online and may be relevant to something else or a different industry, it's going to be a lot harder to stand out. You're going to have a lot more confusion. You're going to run into problems down the road in the future, maybe legal problems at that. Those are things that you want to be in consideration of. Now, I did mention here surveys, polls, focus groups. Google, that is a type of a focus group that you're conducting yourself. It's just the searches are getting you what you're asking for. But if you want to do this formally, again, number 6 here, surveys, polls, focus groups, there are places where you can do this. You can hold focus groups. You could even run ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, go in the Facebook groups and ask other people that you don't know. Those are possibilities. SurveyMonkey, PickFu, social media, organic, and ads, talked about those. Those are some sites and methods that you can use to actually get feedback and get those surveys and those polls. You may not need to do an in-person focus group. However, if you have an email list, send out an email. Ask people what their thoughts are. Maybe pick a couple of different names. Write down a series of names. Get a collection of a few different names and phrases for your business and Put that into an email. Get that feedback. Get those polls and those surveys. And last but not least, number 7 is stand out. But that's kind of bland, so you're like, wait a minute, I just don't get it. Well, there's a couple of things here. The bonus, spelling. I have a couple of brands that I've created the words myself. I've actually used 2 different words, created them together, put them together, so when you search those words and that brand comes up, I am the only one on Google. So much so that in the past, I've actually ran the entire front page of Google except for 2 spaces. We have the ads, we have the organic stuff on the side, we had some shopping, which is of course all paid. You could put that there, but Google also has to put that there for your brand. And we had positions 1, 2, and 3 were competitors, and then 4 through 10 on the front page were our sites, our brand, my brand, whatever you want to call it. That just shows the power of creation and planning. I purposely did that because I wanted 0 confusion. And as a bonus here, when you go ask for a Kleenex, you're actually asking for a tissue. Okay? What does that have to do with this? Well, Kleenex instilled so prevalently in people's minds what that was that people ask for that now. It's actually a tissue. So in creating a brand, think of that. I actually have 2 brands in different industries that do just that. They name what the product is, but that word and that creation put together makes me the only search term online, and it's so clean, cut, and dry, and it's actually helped me in trademark lawsuits before, where I've coined a trademark on that term, nobody else is able to use it, marketplace confusion. Look at Southwest Airlines. You can't trademark the term Southwest. Southwest Airlines, you can. That notates an airlines. American Airlines, same thing. You can't trademark the term American, but you can airlines. This is just some bonus to kind of help jog the mind and get you thinking about what you need to do to plan for your business. So in standing out, you have spelling, you have searchability, not too long, 1 or 2 words, possibly 3, and of course, you want to be memorable. You want people to memorize your name, and we talked about all of that. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, notification bells, and of course, there's more videos on this topic and entrepreneur success coming up next. As a bonus, in the description, I have some indicators and some terms and definitions for names for businesses. I guarantee you'll find this useful, and I'll see you on the next video.